Okay, today we thought it'd be helpful to show you how to use a suggested path for the tool for working with clients. So we're going to start here with this file folder. Each client has a folder, Q118, Q2. This is their active current portfolio construct, and everything's named and saved in here so that you can go back and recall it or for documentation or firm FINRA requirements, etc. So with this folder, we can now update it. So what do we do? To update this folder, we want to go back here and let's get to work. Let's import the file from that folder. That's the last version of the portfolio we were working with. So all we have to do is identify it. We choose the file and we know where it is. It's in that documents folder and it's here and it's an exported file from our tool. So it's in a format we can accept. We open it, we upload, and as you know, it checks to make sure it's in our database. We know it is because we built this portfolio for our client, and it brings in dollar amounts because that's how we saved it. We import it now directly into the grid, and we're ready to work. And the name is carried up here, as you can see, and the date and the timestamp of when it was created, etc. So this will all import directly into the grid, and you can begin doing work. This is an existing sample client. Now, let's potentially make a change. So what's up for consideration is we can look at cash flow, which we have in the past and we've saved it. So let's look at this portfolio. The estimated cash flow on this portfolio is 2.71%. And there's 16,660 in each individual investment. How much is that total? We sum it here, it's $200,000. Okay, we know there's $200,000 in there. Perfect. Now, we might want to say, okay, what was our static look at the last 10 years? This portfolio, left alone for 10 years, would have performed how? Okay, in '08 it was down 55,000, because remember, it was a $200,000 portfolio. We could have done percentages. And we ended up 214,000 for a total value of 414. So pretty nice construct, and we're okay with it. But we want to look at what if we change this income fund out for DODIX, a Dodge and Cox income fund. What would the impact be? Well, just quickly say yield, is it up, down, sideways, about the same? And it's 2.59%, so 12 basis points lower, 12 tenths of a percent. Not material. What about the return? And what we're looking for is what effect this had on the portfolio in volatile times back in 2008 and then through the 10 years. So about the same impact. It was only down 55,000, but after 10 years, we are at 418,000 in value here. So grew 218,000. So that's enough better on a fixed income to say, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going with that change. So what we want to do is we want to name the file again. So if we name the file, we'll come in here and say this is SAMPLE sample client portfolio. Sample. This is 75% growth and 25% income. So whatever I name it down here is going to be in the file name when I save it. And here's where it gets really neat. I'm looking at this FLOAS EPV10. So I'm going to call this EPV10. So I want to know what this is. Say this is the rationale for what I did. I've already saved this in the past, so I know what the past looked like. I want to document that I made a change and why I did it. All I have to do is hit the print feature here. Okay, and what happens is a PDF document. I can print it or save it as a PDF. Opens up. The file name I called it is in the header. And here it is, sample client portfolio, 75% growth, income, EPV10 and the date and the time I did it, and here's the flow analysis disclaimer behind it, and then I'm going to save it. So I'm just going to save this. Where am I going to save it? Right back to that file folder. And here it is. Now, before I do that, or when I do that, I can go in all these right here. I'm going to cancel this. And all of those files would go into the Q2 folder. So you can see all I have to do is, again, save, and it will save right there. And now it's in that folder. Now I'm updating it. So now let's say I want to say estimated cash flow. Again, what was the impact? Will I remember it when 3 months later when I'm looking at this guy's account? Well, all I have to do is go down here. It's already named, but I'm going to call it EST. And again, if I hit print, it captures that same screen look now with the yield on it for that portfolio's estimated cash flow. And it carries the name we had in the file in the header. And that becomes the URL too, the document, the call for the file. So I just save that. It goes right back to the folder I was saving it in. And as you can see, I'm updating all of these. So I'll go back and run that. And let's say I want to do a flow analysis. If I did a flow analysis with the $200,000, I could run one and save that too, right over it. All these little things. Now, when I'm ready, if I have this portfolio here and I want to run a PSDS report, and I'm going to do 3, 5, and 10-year advanced. Okay. Advanced. All I have to do now is hit the submit button. It'll be run. And when it's done, it can be delivered here to the platform and I can save it directly into the file form. So you can see I'm going back and forth into this file, saving as we go. We also have the ability to, as you know, hyperlink to different things. One of them is Morningstar. So I have Morningstar and we've hyperlinked it here. Once everything's done, we still have our processing page. In our processing page, if we want to, we take that file and we say, all right, name it the sample portfolio. And I'm going to export this portfolio. This is the Morningstar export. It creates the Morningstar file export. And then I download. This is where you want to put it. And I'm putting it here. And you can see it's a Morningstar name, and I can attach the front end of what it is. I just call it the same thing, and I hit save. And I'll replace it, yes. So now I have it in a Morningstar format. Here we have file conversion, so you can, if you're working with Morningstar or some other, or your own firm, we can do a file conversion so it can upload directly into your other tools. Once we've done that, we can go ahead and, if you've worked with Morningstar Workstation, bring it in. So here we go, model portfolios, file. So here we are. We're going to go to model portfolios. File, import from a file. A little clunky when I'm working within another recording program, but you can see all we have to do is browse. Now, where is that file? Well, we created the file right in our tool, and it's already identified. It's a Morningstar file. See, MS, Morningstar. So all I have to do is say, where is that file? And I make sure I grab the right one. So there it is. It's an Excel CSV file. I open it. Morningstar says, okay, that's it. Okay, we've already mapped it. So all we've got to do is upload it. Okay, and import. And we've done it. And we just close this and update the model portfolio look. And here you are, sample portfolio. Bring it up. I can now look at this portfolio and very quickly, as you can see, I'm not typing anything. I've already created the portfolio, its allocations, etc. I can set some parameters in here if I want to make a custom report. If you've worked with Morningstar, you know what that's about. And all I have to do is hit the generate report button and it will create the PDF. And once again, I'm doing this on the fly in less than 10 minutes, and I'm documenting the impact of the decision we make for rebalancing a portfolio. And I'm putting it into the client file. I can recall it at any time. So there it is. And there's the Morningstar report, which I'm sure you're familiar with. You just hit the download button. And now where I put it, I'm going to put it here. It's right over the one I have in there. See, save, and it's done. So that's how quickly we can go into a file update, look at the report, get this created, get it done, and in a file system, be able to use the platform that we've created for you guys. And in here, this is the old processing page and the new processing page, in that you can do all the file exchanges here, but you never have to come here if you're not saving or converting anything. You could stay on the platform. And I'm just going to go back to the platform now. From here, I can come right back and it'll reload the platform with the portfolio I was working on. Say, okay, everything's back in play right here. Now remember, I had run a scan earlier. And because I ran that scan, it's bringing that scan data back for me. And you can see optimize button is right there. I draw everything back in, and now the report is in there too. So here's the allocation. Here's everything we did. I can toggle between, 3, 5, 10 years. I can show the simulation. If I want to save this now as an updated scan, which this is a 3-5 year scan right here, all I've got to do is remember, I'm going to go here and name it, and it's a PSDS advanced scan. Run it. So now, from up here, if I just hit that button, it'll download it and say where it's called and named by what I put in that file format, and it's putting it right in the file. Save it. Now I've updated my scan advanced report, which has got 3, 5, and 10-year simulations on that portfolio with associated documentation for why I did it. I can hide the simulation, and I can also update its stress test. I'm on 10 years, so I'm going to go to, if I was on 3-year or 5-year or 10-year, stay 10. I'm going to run a 10-year stress test. And you just, once again, press the button. It delivers a stress test and the report directly here to you. The idea here is on a single page platform, you've got all this power and depth and analysis that you can make decisions, assess your decisions before you even document them, and decide, yes, that's having the impact I thought it would and is improving the portfolio, either from a risk or return standpoint or both. And then you just proceed to rerun the simulations, rerun the testing, save and document every screen. You can run through this once you've got an idea of what you want to do and you've built your portfolios in 10, 15 minutes. Prep for clients. You can show the clients this right in front of them and they can see what you're doing and finally, for the first time, have a tangible way to understand what it is you do for them. And all this information in a single page platform that also lets you hyperlink to other platforms, upload and exchange files with them that you've already created, hyperlink to other research so you can customize that and say I like Yahoo Finance or I like bar chart, whatever you like, free Edgar. Here's the stress test, and you can see I'll open up the report, and all I have to do is name this thing. I know what it's called. I'm going to call it the CAUCHY. This was for 10-year stress test. Basis of stress test. Now I set that, and all I've got to do to save it is hit print. Hit OK. And now from here, I'm saving it into that folder with the updated stress test analysis. And I can save 3, 5, and 10-year stress tests. So you can see, very powerful, it's very simple to use. I'm customizing the names, I'm loading it, I'm deciding I'm not losing track and not getting lost in the minutia of all these files I created, because in the header and in the file name, I'm clearly writing what it is I did in the file name, and it's timestamped with the date and the time it was actually created. So I'll just cancel that. And at the final end, once you've completed a portfolio and say, I want to be able to recall this file, well, all you've got to do is down here, once again, is save. Now, remember, because I saved it, it's carrying the same name, but I don't want to say stress test, so I'll cancel that. I'm just going to save this as, now this file, my sample portfolio, is going to be in, and when I save it, it will be able to be drawn back in and worked on in the future, next month, next week, next quarter for your next meeting with the client. That's how powerful the tool is, how fast and quickly you can get things done. I hope this was helpful to you. I know that it's a lot of information, but use it, play around with it. You'll quickly see that the file exchange and the data and the analysis is so direct and powerful that you will move along very quickly in all of your meetings. And the demos and the client presentations should be very helpful. Thanks again. I hope this was useful.